Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bigfoot and Coffee. I'm your host, Charles Mills. Guys, we got, some things to talk about. Gonna let everybody know what's going on. Soundwave says temperature is 28, where I'm at now. Let's see, 33, actually, where I'm at right now. So, anyways, let's get the show on the road, guys. What's going on? I see you, Jody Ferguson. Les Snow. What's up? Grant, what's up? All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. So I'm back. Uh, we will not be going back to that job this week. Okay. So we will be able to get some hunt time in, which is good because I really want to get out there and hunt. So that's good news. You know what I'm saying? Um, Super happy about that. Uh, Weather was pretty rough down there the first 2 days. I mean, we were in the negative digits, pretty cold. Then Wednesday and Thursday, it was warmer. Let's put it that way, you know. So Thursday was not bad at all. I think it was like 50 down there, where I'm at in Southern Ohio, doing that job. So rough week, but we got through it. So super happy that all of you are here today. I'm gonna let a few people get on before I get into a report of a sighting. Um, I pretty much know what's happening with this report, but you know it's still a report. So you know we'll get into that. Soundwave, make sure you remind me about the report. You know, um, so we're gonna get out this week. I'm hoping to get out tomorrow and get a hunt done. Uh, I personally would like to go to Old Man Whistler's tomorrow. Uh, I want to go over to the backside of Whistler's, where that fence line is. Remember where I blocked off the fence line where that major trail was coming through after the pig incident? I want to go check that area out. We haven't been in there for a while. There's some cameras that we need to put some batteries in. Uh, we're gonna get the trail cams situated this week also for you guys. All right, I'm working on that. I was working on that last night and this morning as we speak. You know, really need to get that taken care of ASAP. So I'll have that done. Let's see what else here. Yeah, it's been a pretty productive week on the work front. We got a lot done down there. Um, you know, there's two main buildings that we're putting the roof on, and then there was a little control building. That was done. We got building 2 buttoned up this week, so there's just some odds and ends on building 1 to do. This should be next week. I think we might be going down. I don't know. And that should be the last of it. And then I'll be looking for some more work, But God was gracious enough to, grant me some work. So I'm very appreciative of that, So Jody Ferguson says, hi, Grant. He says, hi, Jody. What's up? Just going through, reading, making sure I didn't miss anything. What's up, Les? I see you. Hillbilly Simpleman. Good morning and early Merry Christmas to everyone. Yes, Merry Christmas to everyone, guys. Morning, Charles. Dillo, what's up? What's going down, brother? How's Mama Dillo? Tell her I said hi, and the ODU family says hi. She don't get on much anymore, but it is what it is. Les Snow says hello, Hillbilly. Just reading some of the comments that are coming in here, guys. So Jody, the Lord always provides. Charles, Merry Christmas to everybody. Jody, that's pretty much my mindset. Still haven't found a place. Still looking. It's really hard this time of the year to find somewhere to rent. Nobody wants to move during Christmas. It's rough. It's hard. Also to find something in my price range and everything else. Steve and Missy, what's up, man? I see you. Good morning. So it's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. So I'm really leaning on, putting it in the Lord's hands, letting Him deal with it, laying it at the foot of the cross, and, letting Him guide me, to where I need to be. Which is something that we should all do. We should all rely on the Lord a little bit more. And speaking of the Lord, let's go ahead and get that prayer going, guys, right? Dear Father, I thank you for the day that you have allowed me to have. I thank you for the camaraderie of this channel, the love of this channel, and the support of everybody on this channel. Lord, I ask that you lead us and guide us into your will. Give us the strength, the knowledge, and the wisdom, Lord, that we need to proceed through our day. Lord, I ask in all humbleness that you guide us and lead me where I need to be with this house situation. Lord, please protect us from the evil one and allow us our daily allowance. Father, I ask that you look after those who are stuck in addiction of any kind. Ease their heart. Put people in their path. Put someone in their path, Lord, that can help them. Use us as your tools for your will. In the name of the Lord Jesus, I pray. Amen. Let's see. Says, hello, Stephen, Missy, and Hillbilly. Dillo says, good morning, Jody. And just read. So anyways, I got my David Leonard hat on today. Dude, by the way, it's still deer season, guys. David Leonard has some new designs out on his Facebook page. He makes some of the world's best game calls. Tones are perfect. Everything's perfect on them. Get over there and check out David Leonard's Facebook page if you're a hunter. The guy's got some amazing game calls. And not only do they work awesome, but they're very, very realistic in sound and very, very beautiful. The guy's a great woodworker. So get over there and check it out. David Leonard on Facebook. Charles, that chronic wasting disease has started hitting here in Tennessee. What do you think about this stuff? Well, you got to understand is this chronic wasting disease has been around since man was throwing spears at deer. Okay? Chronic wasting disease is Mother Nature's way of controlling populations. And yes, it hits areas, but if you ever notice, it'll hit an area and then you won't hear about it for a while, and then it'll hit the area again. Deer repopulate very quickly. Okay, there's really a lot more deer than people think there are. You know what I'm saying? Um, like we haven't had no problems here in Northeast Ohio. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the DNR really, really, really needs to pay attention to the numbers and the infestation of that um, CWD because they can adjust how many deer you're allowed to take, um, whether it be with a bow or whether it be with a gun, according to the disease. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody likes to hunt, everybody likes to get deer, but you have to have a balance there. You know what I'm saying, Hillbilly? Good morning, Peg. Good morning, Chris. I see you. Um, you have to have a balance in the disease and the recreational rights of humans. Because there's a lot of people that hunt. They fill their tags, to subsidize their grocery bill. You know, I'm one of them. I eat a lot of deer. I eat a lot of fish. You know, we Are we ever going to go to Geo Sounds Part 2? Yes, I'll get to that this week. I promise you, okay? I don't have work this week. So, you know, we're going to get that done. Yeah, huge buck jumped across the road and took out my headlight. Oh, no. It was about to be inside the car if I hadn't swerved and slammed. Oh, Lord. His Yeah, about 10 grand of damage to his Lincoln MKZ. That is horrible. Um, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, yeah, I mean, oh, deer can jump out at any time of the year. It's not just during rut, you know. But you also got to understand too, is second rut, is a thing. There's first rut and second rut. Those does that didn't come to, into estrus the first time, they'll come in about 28 days later, So from, the original first rut. So you got to remember that too. David Leonard makes the best sounding grunt calls I've ever heard. Oh yeah, I agree. And a very beautiful. Yeah, he just posted some new designs on his uh, page, on his Facebook page. I'm telling you, I love his game calls. I love them. I love his game calls. They're awesome. They're beautiful. They're very well designed. You know, I mean, different layering of wood and everything else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy is amazing. Here's another one that I got. I believe this is black walnut. I mean, even, everything is engraved. Everything is beautiful, on all of his calls. You know, the guy does a very good job. Andy, what's up, man? How are you? You think 360 will be up and going this week? I'll try to get that rolling for you. Okay. Let me write it down. All right. Well, okay. All right. So, anyways, on another note, I can't win. So I leave here yesterday. Went put gas in my truck at Get Go. Um, Pulled away from the pump and was putting air in my tire. Right. But before that, as I was pumping gas, I seen Wes from Buckeye Bigfoot. All right, I seen his truck, the stickers on his truck. I walk over there, knock on his window. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" We got to talking, and he was telling me that he was on his way to go investigate a sighting in Manaway, Ohio, which is the town I'm from. Um, you know, I asked him what part of Manaway. He told me what part of Manaway. Well, I needed to inform him that in that area, I have for the last 2 years, this year and last year, got a black bear on trail cam in that area. So I believe that it's going to come back that the sighting is a black bear, very rare up here. I mean, it's extremely rare. You know, to even have a bear anywhere. I mean, like extremely rare. You know, to have a bear anywhere. Around here, and that's out in Manaway. Um, it's pretty close to an area that they've been trying to catch that bear for 2 years now. The Department of Natural Resources has been trying to relocate it. You know, um, it's pretty difficult. There's not a lot of houses in the area, so I believe you've ever got a black bear in your area, man. You've got a black bear in your area. No, it's in Manaway, and Manaway's not real far, but it's far from here, and it's far from the geosite, and it's far from Old Man Whistler's. You know, the area that I'm talking about is off of Lime Ridge, and he said that that was off of, I do believe, Streeter Road is what he said, which is like 3 roads down from the area that I have had a bear on trail cam. Earlier this year, it was a pretty small one, but he said there was trackway, everything else. He was going out to document it. He's got my number, so he hasn't, done anything. He says, "Oh yeah, the furthest I have heard about them being around here in Lake Milton. Yeah, they got that one in Lake Milton and relocated it. Um, Anytime that there's a bear around here, the DNR will relocate. We have bears all around here. Yeah, we don't. Johnny, what's up? Good morning from 4 miles east of O'Hare International Airport, Chicago. What's up? But usually they're spotted by my house, not far away. Well, yeah, you're a little bit closer to, Pennsylvania. You know, the closer you get towards the border, the more bear sightings there is. Don't tell see that he keeps thinking no bear in Ohio. There's I didn't say there's no bear in Ohio. I said there's no bear in Ohio. When I say no bear in Ohio, I mean, number one, we don't have a season. Number one, we don't have a sustained population. All of them are rogue bears that are coming over from the Pennsylvania border. Okay, and the only place that there is ever bear sightings in Ohio is on the east. Is East Ohio, because they're coming from PA. Number one, they're definitely not coming from the south because they'd have to cross a bridge because the whole bottom of Ohio is protected by the Ohio River, So you got to understand that, you know. So, Charles, where you have your camper and property setting on, have you ever caught any signs of Bigfoot there? No, I haven't, and I don't own that anymore. I do not, because if I did, that's where I would be moving to. Um, I don't own that anymore. I sold that to make some ends meet earlier this year in the spring. So wish I'd never sold it, but I don't own it anymore. But no, I never had anything. Never had anything like that. So Johnny says, "What up, Dillo?" Merry Christmas. But that's where we're at. Anyways, I'm drinking Beamont again today. Cheap coffee from Aldi's. Drop a comment. Let me know what you're drinking today. Dang, Charles, that would have been a good idea to keep a hold of that. I know. Less I know. Less I know. I know. Believe me, it's My daughter is not a happy camper about that. She wasn't happy when I sold it. But I honestly believed that the homeowner here would honor, their word, his and her word, and apparently they didn't. Um, that's fine. Um, you know, it's not my job to judge them. That's the Lord's job to deal with that. Um, you know, but let me tell you something. When you speak and you give somebody your word, you go through with it. Okay? Nobody likes a liar or a flip flopper. Remember, I said that. You know, um, and when you say something and go against what you say and back out of it, that makes you a liar. That's the definition of a liar. Just so everybody knows that. Yeah, Malibu has to move too. We all have to move. You know, we don't have a choice. I told you that the original deal was a land contract here. And I've got over 10 grand in this house just to make it livable, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, of my own money and my own labor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm at a standstill. What I'm supposed to do with that loss of money? Am I supposed to just suck it up, Buttercup, or do I lean the house? I mean, what do I do? So I'm gonna let the Lord deal with that. Is what I'm going to do. You know. Um, Good morning, Charles. What's up, Jeff? In the community, drinking black silk. There you go. Where's Floyd Randall? We know he's drinking Duncan wherever he is. We know that. So, what else do we got here? Just looking around, seeing Dillo, back when I was growing up, your word was your honor. That's, Johnny, that's exactly, I mean, it's, well, the Bible says if somebody steals your robe, give them your tunic too, you got to remember that, the whole turn the other cheek thing. I don't know. I'm going to let God just deal with this house situation. Hopefully, He will put somebody or something in my life that, will be able to help with the situation. I mean, we've worked very hard here at this place. You guys remember from when I came from the trailer, and all the work that I've done here and all the studios that I've put in. Everything you see behind me, I built, I mean, it's not just me. I mean, it's us. I mean, you guys paid for this wood. You guys paid for the studios to be built. This is your money to also, not just mine. I mean, this was Outdoor University money put into the studios. I mean, if you remember, we had a big, money drive, so we can get the studios done, and, it's just a huge slap in the face. Yes, it's a setback because now I have to divert my attention, to other places besides Sasquatch research and hunting and fishing and this channel, And I mean, my intentions, with this channel were in the beginning, to bring education to the outdoors, to people, you know. Then Sasquatch happened, so now I was, trying to bring attention, and protection and laws, to a large North American primate, that's unrecognized by science. I'm not going to say undiscovered. I'm going to say unrecognized by science, and not by people, by science, you know. Have faith, Charles. Something better will be along. I understand that. I believe that, Les. Um, I truly do. I mean, my Lord's not going to, my Lord and my God will, do something We'll figure it. I don't know what it is because nobody knows the Lord's ways, but hopefully that's how it'll work, you know. And if it comes out that I gotta sleep under a bridge, I gotta sleep under a bridge. It is what it is, you know. So figure it out, you know. It's not that hard. So we're gonna try to get out this week. Oh, let me finish the story. So then I pull my truck. I come back from talking with them about the sighting, and I pull my truck over and I'm putting air in my tire. Well, all of a sudden the truck shuts off. I'm like, what the hell? And it won't start. Alternator went in my truck, locked up. So now I gotta put an alternator in my truck. Cost me $100 to have the truck towed, right, back to the house. Then it's gonna cost me another $200 for an alternator and a serpentine belt. Nice, huh? Story of my life, you know? Looks like times are changing, Charles. Oh, yeah, times are definitely changing. I agree with that 100%. But, you know, we have to change with them. Money never mind much to me as long as you have faith and health. Well, yeah, I agree with that. But you also got to understand, too, there's no living life with no money. You know, I'm not saying, you know, that everybody should be rich and be able to buy what they want to buy at any time, but I am saying that money is a necessity. You know, not only is it a necessity for the fact of just surviving and living, it's also a necessity for the fact that, you know, your Christianity. I mean, you know, if you're not comfortable, you're not going to, you know, be able to worship God. You're going to be out there chasing opportunities, you know, that Satan puts there to make money. It's just that simple, you know. And I mean, that sucks. Can't win for losing. I know, Dillo. It is what it is, you know. God doesn't give us anything we can't handle. That is truth. That is what the Bible says. I understand, Charles, but I've been poor most of my life. Yeah, me too. You know, me too. And it's just, you know, sometimes it gets a little annoying, but you know what? It is what it is, guys. You know, we got to have faith. You know, we got to get back up, right? We have to get back up. You know, you know, we weren't, you know, nobody was promised, you know, comfort. You know, comfort is earned. You know, um, there's a guy. It's called, you know, there's a sermon about, you know, being men. Pastor Joby is his name. You know, just look it up on YouTube, and it is an incredible, incredible sermon. I was listening to it this morning. You know, you know, money does equal happiness. I agree. Not 100% happiness, but you know, it is what it is. So hold on, pouring in. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But that's what's going on with the housing situation. So, you know, we're going to try to get it figured out, guys. You know, listen to me, man. You know, I want you guys to understand something. And life is hard. It's going to be hard. Okay? But it's like I always say, you know, look, call me. I'll pick you back up. I'll pick you up. I'll dust you off. You know, there's going to be times that I need picked up and I need dusted off, you know. Here's the problem is we think, you know, because we're men, you know, and I'm speaking to the men, not the, you know, ladies out there, that we have this persona that we have to be hard and we have to be strong and we have to do this and we have to do that. And yes, that's all truth, you know. But you also got to understand is, you know, we was created in his image. And being created in his image, you know, the Bible says God is love, you know. And then one will go, well, what's love? We'll go to, Corinthians chapter 13. It says, love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It gives you it gives you the definition of love. So, just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind as men. You know what I'm saying? Because life's not easy. It's gonna be hard. It's just the way it is. A little towards your alternator. Hey, thanks, Les. Guys, big ODU hug to you, Les. Guys, I want to see some TYs for Les. Les donated $10. Thank you, Les, very much. Greatly appreciated, buddy. You don't even know. But I want to see some TYs. I'm serious. Please. You can always call me, Charles. I'll pick you back up when you need. Good. I like that, Les. I like, hearing, that we have a network here. That there's no problems that we, as Outdoor University members. Oh, Morty. There's Morty this morning, guys. Let's see them TYs, guys. Please. Yeah, I'm going to practice what I preach, right? Yeah. TY. Thank you. You just got to remember, that there's always a way. God's always going to make a way out, or he's going to put someone in your life. You know what I'm saying? Or something in your life. That's, not going to solve the problem, but is maybe a key or a door or something, Now he might leave it there for you to open, but whatever teamwork. That's what I agree, Les. Teamwork 100%, So, coffee foot. Yes, there was no Bigfoot in beer, by the way. I was having some issues with some things. So, I just want everybody to know that I'm not at work this week, so we will be back in the woods. And conversation's over, it's a delicate balancing game with me right now, trying to solve the housing situation and trying to run Outdoor University and trying to work and make money, and trying to keep my daughter from bawling her eyes out, every day and worried, you know what I'm saying, about where we're going to go. It's a delicate balancing act. It truly is. But we'll get through it. Not much time. Good morning. What else we got here? Let's see. I'm just going back, making sure I didn't miss any serious questions. So, Soundwave, I'll get them sounds up for you. GeoSound 2, we'll get that done. All right. Because there's 3 parts to it. So I got to figure out why it didn't work last time. So I got to pull it up from the project file in the editor. Maybe the sound file is something that's not compatible with the program that I'm using. I don't know. Maybe a setting got changed or something. I got to figure it out. All right. If not, I'll just re-render it out. You know what I'm saying? And try again. Okay. So I'll get that up for you, Soundwave. Johnny says it's going to be 50 by Christmas here. Beautiful thing. There you go. In the 50s. There you go, Johnny. Let's see. I'm just going over some of these comments. One day at a time, just keep swinging. That's all you can, baby. That's all you can. Just keep swinging. keep getting back up. You know, it's not about how hard life hits you; it's about whether you get back up. You know, so just that simple. Yeah. By the way, that's not from me. That's from the Rocky movie. If you guys know that, you know. Scott, what's up, man? Gooden's Auto, what's up, my friend? You know. So, Monday will probably be at Old Man Whistler's. Like I said, I want to go to the backside. I got a camera back there that I haven't, dude. I haven't. Batteries I know got to be dead. You know. So I want to pull that card. I'm going to go through some cards today, some trail cam pics today, and try to get that figured out for that geosite part 2 sound. All right, I want to get that done. So I don't know what happened there, but I'll get it done for you, Soundwave. You know, Soundwave's been on me. You know, he's been on me about it, which oh, I mean, rightfully so. What's this? Hold on. He said, what's going on with the cameras? Those will be up and running this week. These cameras that Les sent, they will be up and running this week. We have 4 of them. 2 of them will be up and running this week. Speaking of that, you guys need to scan this. So you have, hold on, let me hold it there. You need to scan that QR code and download the app. I think it's called Yukon, UCON. So, you know, we can get that up and running. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving. Who is this? Somebody just texted me and I don't know who. Be careful tonight. Who is this? Give me your address. I can map out my trip. Oh, this might be Godzilla. No, this is, yeah, Godzilla. Okay. Yeah, I will. What we got? Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy hunting and fishing stuff. That close, and it can buy you a place to live too. You know, Johnny, good morning from 4 miles east, the West Gate O'Hare International Airport. Good morning, Johnny. You know. Roger that. Just making sure I didn't miss anything before we get off here. We will be at the geosite too this week. I'm gonna try to get 2 hunts in. I don't know when, you know, or if I'm even, you know, going back to that job. So I have no clue, you know. So I'm hoping something else comes along, you know, so I can get enough money to move, you know. I mean, you know, scary times, but, you know, venturing into the unknown is one of the things that, you know, separate the men from the boys. You know what I'm saying? Charles, could you read my last comment? Yep. Hold on, Les. Let's know. Says, hello, Scott. Did they tell you how to fix those cameras, or do you have to send them in? No. No. I was supposed to send them in. Then a representative called me back, and they told me just turn the cameras on, that they can reboot the software. And they downloaded some new software to them. So, you know, and they're supposed to be working. You know, I was on the phone with them yesterday, They said, and I turned them on yesterday, and there was some thing going on with the light, and I was telling them what was happening, you know. So they said, they should be up and running within 24 hours, So they're still on. So, and hold on. I went to the app this morning and they still weren't working, but that told me they're not working now. No. Oh, wait. No. Still not working. Did my phone. My phone's about to die. Wonderful. I better get it put on a charger. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here, okay? Listen, take a kid fishing. By doing so, you're investing in the youth of this country. And by investing in the youth of this country, you're investing in your own future. And what a better investment than investing in yourself, right? Think of that, all right? You hear me? The things that you have, the freedoms that you have, is because of a veteran. They ask for you to type a code in on phone. I don't have smartphone, only a computer. I don't know how that's going to work, Soundwave. You might have to get with Godzilla on that, okay? Because Godzilla, is just as informed on the cameras as I am. Or Dillo, I think they both have access. Dillo has access to full mediating access, and also Godzilla does too. So listen, think of that, man. Please, Listen, 216-632-9385. Guys, depression is real, okay? Listen, if you're not feeling yourself, man, or you're just feeling down, or maybe you're just pissed and want to cuss somebody out, 216-632-9385. Call me, man. Let's talk about it, Listen, as men, we need to stick together, all right? Even if you're a female, call me if you're, feeling depressed. I'll talk. I'll laugh with you. I'll cry with you. I'll break things with you. Whatever you want to do, man. It's not that hard, So, anyways, put down that Xbox, pick up a tackle box, guys. If you take it in the woods and the water, leave with it. Don't litter. Nobody likes a litter bug. All right? Anyways, I'm Charles Mills with Outdoor University. And I want you to know that I love every single one of you. And I'll see you all in the great